Take one.
So, hello everybody. We are here with our friend, Danny Varghese. Did I say it right?
Varghese, yes, you got it perfect.
Okay, thank God. Because I hate doing that. Everyone mispronounces my name. Melani. Anyway, we are here. It's true. We are here at our studios at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Laffey International Realty. We are in our podcast room at our Woodbury office. We can also be found in earlier Nassau at our Williston Park office.
That's right.
So thank you so much for coming here today.
Well, thank you for having me here.
And trekking from where are you coming from today?
Well, I was in my Queens office today.
Wow.
Yeah, near, where was that? JFK.
Wow. So you got to tell our audience what you do and why we love you and find your news so exciting.
Yeah, we were
You're
so
awesome.
excited.
I love it.
By the way, we've been waiting to sit down with you for the longest time.
It's true.
Probably the most...
Well, I'm really not that interesting.
You're the guest. You're the guest.
Yeah.
You and Nick are the
This is
guests.
the most exciting interview for us in the longest time. So
It's true. And Nick.
Well,
both
Nick is,
times.
Nick is great. But we've been talking about getting.
We have this we've been talking about forever and ever and ever.
So good to have you here.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having
Cannot
me.
wait
Thank
to
you.
talk.
Thank you.
So what's been going on?
Well, it's getting the new company off the ground has been taking up pretty much all of my time. A lot of traveling, a lot of back and forth. Texas. Now we're doing a Florida launch at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting couple of weeks, and still running the New York company at the same time. So
So we
tell
got
me-
to talk
yeah.
about those companies,
Yeah,
what they
tell me a
are.
little bit. Well, let's start with the company you've had for like 20 years, right?
Yeah. So I was the very first physician assistant that started a mobile cardiology outfit about a little over 22 years ago in 2004 when I got fired from my first job. And that was a whole story in itself, and probably need multiple beers for that. But it came to the realization that I really could not keep doing this by working for somebody and expecting them to pay what I thought I deserved to be paid. So I decided to go out and venture and become my own boss. And that was 22 years ago, and I couldn't look back now. So that being said, I started the very first mobile cardiology outfit, specifically specializing in mobile stress testing, where we bring our systems out to small and medium-sized cardiology practices that don't have the wherewithal to provide their own testing, and as at the same time a mid-level to see their patients. So we came up with I came up with the idea of how can we democratize that service, and kind of created like a cooperative, because these equipments are multi-million dollars a piece. So how can a small outfit, a small cardiology practice afford to give their services to patients, rather than giving out to a hospital or a much larger practice and then wonder, are these patients going to come back to us?
Right.
So we came up with the idea that, all right, if one person buys it and then shares it across various practices and platforms, we can decrease the overall cost of that type of cardiac care and cardiac imaging services. So that took me over the course of the last 20 years, and I started to see the market change, and I wanted to see, am I going to ride this ship to the very ground, or because technologies have changed, services have changed, and I'm not going to say that I was getting bored, but I needed something to challenge me.
Right.
I needed something to just help me to get up in the morning again and give me the opportunity to think differently, to think outside the box, and kind of like what my passion is, to look for deficiencies in medicine, look for deficiencies in the delivery of medicine, and see if I could come up with some innovative and unique ways of creating efficiencies.
Right, which is what I was going to ask, because I have to imagine, because you've been doing the cardiology portion for so long, that you had to have noticed a need somewhere else in the medical field.
Yes.
Which leads you now to what you founded and are starting to launch now. I think down south is where you're starting.
Right, we are starting this down south. So my wife's cousin, Dr. Tony Abraham, he came up with an idea a couple of years back, and he was one of the principal investigators, and he was one of the first physicians to start this type of cancer treatment, prostate cancer treatment, something called radioligand therapy, in a private practice. And he was the first in the country, first in New York specifically, to do this. And then he came up to me and says, Dan, is there a way that we can give this service out to a lot more people? Because right now I'm only seeing like 3-4 patients a month, and there's so many other people that actually can utilize the service. But when he was first doing it, this was an end-of-life treatment.
Okay.
FDA did not approve it for a person that was just diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Okay.
For FDA to allow practices to give this type of medication upon diagnosis. So this was an end-of-life treatment. So patients got diagnosed. They got something called androgen suppression therapy, which is basically medical castration. So, yeah, imagine how many men want that.
Yeah.
So
I'm hurting already.
yeah, so you offer that to men right off the bat, and what are they going to say?
I'm holding
oh, wait,
tight right now.
what are you about to do to me? Did you just use the word castration? So you had to do something called medical castration with the androgen suppression, and then from there, that failed. Patients would then go to chemotherapy. Then chemotherapy failed, that they would go for radiation therapy. Then after radiation therapy failed, this was close to end of life now, and this was a Hail Mary. Here, give radioligand therapy.
Right.
So they've noticed that from multiple studies that when given radioligand therapy, even at the end of life, it has extended life by a minimum of 6 months and up to 2 years.
Wow.
And the cancer has regressed significantly, giving the individual quality of life back. Not so much the time.
But quality matters so much when you have so little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So fast forward, he asked me and this is when he brought it up to me, and the cardiology business was doing very well, and I wasn't at the time looking for something else. But then I started thinking, I was like, is there a way? There's kind of like to see how many patients that we can touch, how many people that we can help. And I was like, man, let me think about it. But a couple of things that I could not wrap my head around, and how to democratize this, how to make this more accessible to the public, was the cost.
Right.
One dose is significant. Each patient needs six injections, one injection every 6 weeks over the course of 36 weeks, treatment cycle. One injection is about $50,000.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So what does insurance cover?
Insurance covers
generally
about
50%.
The insurance will cover the whole cost.
Okay.
But it's not just the cost of the drug that we have to cover. It's the cost of the practice being able to give it. So there is like a setup cost, a labor cost, supply and implementation cost. So the insurance company has to be able to cover all that. So we need about $58,000 per injection in order to make this work.
Wow.
And if you're only giving it at the end of life, that's not that many patients that you can treat to make this financially viable.
Right, exactly. So the name of the company is RadiantPath, correct?
Right, RadiantPath Health.
RadiantPath Health. All right, because I want people really to know the name of the company, because one thing is incredibly important, what you're doing, and besides, it's going to blow up, so people need to know.
God's grace, I hope.
Right? So, right away, one of the questions I have is, so you're just going to the offices of the doctors, or you're going to the patients' homes, or how does this work?
Well, to backtrack just a little bit.
Sure.
So when we decided to design the company, to make it financially viable, I came up with the idea of putting it on the road. So by putting it on the road, we were able to spread the cost of the capital equipment that we needed to get the cost down.
Okay.
Because the reimbursements are not going to change. The reimbursement is going to be they are what they are. But to make it viable, we had to decrease the capital cost of equipment, radiation safety, labor. So we decided to get it out on the road. But different than the cardiac model. With the cardiac model, I brought the camera to different people's offices and the equipment and everything. And we had a nighttime driving team that set up an individual office where the patients would come to the office and our medical team would go in and see the patients both in consult and in testing.
Right.
And then when the day was over, our driving team at night would come and pick up the cameras, pick up all the equipment,
so they set
pack it
up,
up,
and then they have to pack
and then
up
go
again.
to the next office.
Okay.
So the team would go to that office the next day.
Right.
Here's different. We turn it completely on its head, where now all the equipment and everything is fixed to our medical bus.
Okay, so you have an actual whole.
We have an
bus.
actual whole big retrofitted RV 30+ footer.
Right. So you eliminated the whole setting up and taking things apart.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a double wide 30+ foot medical bus. Where the sides come out. We've got a full examination room, injection room. For radiation safety, we have something called Hot Lab that has all the equipment that we need for radiation protection, measurement, and dispensation. And then, we have a reading station to look at all the CAT scan, MRI, PET scans, to do and also to do all of our charting and everything, an area for the IVs. So that bus will now go to different institutions, and that institution can now bring however number of patients that they have to the days that we're there,
right? And
then we come back every 6 weeks on that treatment cycle for those patients.
Yeah, so it makes it really easy. All they have to do is schedule it, and you show up,
and we show up,
and you resolve the issue of having to set things up and have to take it apart. Now, obviously, that was one challenge. It was a great challenge, but what are the other challenges? They got to imagine that there must be a licensing challenge in every single state, and all this, all the health regulations in each state. Like, talk a little bit about that.
Okay,
that's
so
pretty daunting.
That was one of the biggest hurdles, radioactive materials licensing. So right now in the country, there is no such thing as a mobile radioactive materials license until we came around. So I petitioned New York State to. I showed them my plan.
So you created a problem.
I created a problem. And I created a problem that they wish that they never heard of.
Because now they have to deal with it.
Because now they have to deal with it. And New York State pretty much told me, they didn't even actually really want to have a conversation with me. Right. I sent them a bunch of emails, I called them multiple times. I even went up to the head of the Department of Radioactive Materials, would not return a phone call, would not return an email.
Doesn't that always amaze you?
Yeah, it really. And this is something that I've dealt with New York State for 20+ years of me being in this field.
Yeah, so
I know. I know them by name. I know them by their number by heart.
Yeah. I feel New York State is, no matter what industry, there's always resistance to letting people get in. I think what you're doing is brilliant. Start in the path of least resistance. Show that what you're doing is not only viable, but it's working. There's a demand for it, and then pick it up around the country. And New York's going to be the last one to find.
They're going to be the very last ones.
Because everyone else has
New York and California is going to be the very last states that will ever provide services to.
Unbelievable.
Because we will be a national company.
We're always
and that
so
is my goal.
backwards here, guys.